It's not often that I get an audience in Manhattan, but somehow I've come out of the West Coast and fallen into a reading down at the Lower Manhattan Cultural Council Gallery. And I'm sandwiched between actual novelists and great glass buildings, and I have no idea what I'm going to say. So I decide to dust off my old Hamlet holds the camcorder like a skull trick and just tell the only story I really know that's honest. Hamlet style. I am. Okay. See, one of the things that's great about movies is they're kind of universal and most people have seen. Like, these are 8.5 of my favorite films, the half being The Red Balloon. Because it's a short, right? But the other thing that, like, movies start kind of interestingly, even at a graphic level, at the logo, the corporate logo. If you look at it, they're all sort of globes. And, here's like, you can see a small version of it, where even like the MGM almost looks, the lion, like the later 70s version, looks almost like a yin and a yang, They're all spinning globes, duality of man and reaching to some kind of peak, So this is a story that, oh God, it's got to be 12 years old. But as many times as I stop wanting to tell it, and I've only told it once 12 years ago, it dies, but it lives, and it keeps coming up again. And this is actually a shot from Citizen Kane, a very famous shot, that's happening in the far, far background while Agnes Moorehead is signing Charles Foster off to be, part of a trust. But he is in the background at war with himself, even at the very start of the film. I'm zoomed all the way in on it and made it into a little loop. But, it just keeps going around and around. So, these are 8.5 of favorite films that I've sort of fetishized shot to try to tell a story, which is really just a true story, which is just a story that happened to me. Not a movie. Although I'm making a movie now. So it's confusing, but it's not. I know it's abstract, but we'll get a little more literal. It takes place when my dad was dying of cancer. And I shut down my studio and sort of spent a time, instead of creating, I don't know what you would call it, but watching something end, which was my father's life. And he was a graphic designer, and that's why, like, logos and things like that are kind of important to me. So we spent a lot of time. Right now, Jimmy Stewart in Rear Window is filling in for my dad. He was scratching himself a lot. The chemotherapy, whatever. And I brought back a back scratcher from Hawaii, from Waikiki. And it came in really handy, and he'd sit there, give me a nice bolus of morphine. And we watched a lot of television and a lot of old movies. And one of the weird things was, this is right around the time that Jerry Garcia died. And PBS, I guess the Grateful Dead became golden oldies. So during the pledge drives, they started showing old Grateful Dead concerts on television. And nothing in my father's life registered unless it was in the New York Times or on PBS. So it was his first experience with the Grateful Dead, And he turned to me one day and he said, "Lexi, you saw the Dead, yeah?" And I said, "Yeah, Dad, I saw the Dead. I like it." He was from Switzerland, so he had this German accent. "It's like Miles Davis," which would have made Jerry Garcia very happy and Miles Davis pissed off. But there it was. And he said to me, "When I get better, I'm going to see the Dead." And I said, wait, Jerry's dead. Yeah, it's a Grateful Dead. I love it. Give me a bonus. No, I mean, he's dead. Like, really dead? Yeah, was Caesar dead? And then he nodded out. And I'm like, asshole, why are you arguing the point? One way or another, he's gonna see the dead, motherfucker! When the time came, he started swelling up like... Who's that character in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Is it Veruca Salt or... No, the one who turns into a... Violet. His lymph system shut down and began swelling up like this enormous balloon, and his eyes kept getting smaller and his body kept getting bigger. And we all knew it was over. He didn't die immediately. There's this noise, and I've been looking for over a decade to try to explain what that noise was. It's called the death rattle. I hope you've never heard it. I hope you never will hear it. The best I've come up with is if you had a room full of water coolers and you were emptying them all at the same time, and that glugging sound could go on for about 2 hours, maybe amplified. I mean, it's impossibly loud, impossibly weird, and impossibly final. And so we knew it was coming, and it was about the length of a movie, 2 hours, very late at night. And then he died. And it seemed kind of final. And you would think we'd all get really, really sad, or something. And then my mom starts laughing. I mean, like an idiot, laughing. And I say to myself, oh, fuck! Dad's dead! Mom's gone completely insane! What am I, Job? And then it leaves her. And she says, oh, he's gone. Oh, I don't feel any better. But then I gotta tell you, this thing happened to me, and I don't know how to really explain it because I consider myself a rational person. I mean, okay, I'm insane, but at, my heart, I want to be a rationalist. I'd like to believe in science. His soul enters my body and begins playing, I don't know, some kind of marimbas on my rib cage. I mean, a kind of a giggle like I've never experienced in my life. I mean, utter happiness. A bong hit from God. And it shoots out the top of my head. Where the Jews wear a yarmulke? Like some kind of ejaculation of motherfucking love. And I am chasing after it. What is that thing? What the fuck just happened to me? And this is a shot drawing from Bergman's Wild Strawberries. My mom's favorite movie. In fact, she used to walk around in college with a watch from her grandfather that had no hands on it, in homage to that movie. I chase after him, trying to bring that soul back down. I mean, I'd felt a soul, I'm pretty damn sure. I mean, something. There is more on heaven and earth, Horatio, than is contained in my philosophy. Certainly at that point. Now, if anyone's been following the blog at all, they know that the last thing my father did was build a Japanese garden behind the house, between the swamp and the highway, where the highway sounds like an Ouroboros snake eating its tail all night, hissing, right? And he built this thing the last 2 years of his life, his last creative act, right? He was a painter and all that. But he really got me over. Actually, I need to move a boulder. Never mind. I moved it. There's a lever and your mother. We're fine. Really. And you enter this thing by a path. I walk along the path And during this time he was building it, these baseballs would come down from the IBM complex where they had ball fields, you know, little game fields and things. Tennis balls would come down, handballs, softballs, baseballs, volleyballs occasionally if they were very ambitious volleyballs. So I'm walking along the path and I pick up this softball, you know, red stitching around two shapes of infinity, grasping a sphere, right? I mean, that's how I look at a baseball now. And I pick it up thinking, you know, I know I'm in a moment here. I've chased my father's soul out to his garden that he spent 2 years building. I probably ought to pick up this ball. So I do, and I'm thinking I'm going to stick it on a painting, you know. And you enter the garden the way I entered the world, through an island called my mother, Santa Helena. And then you go to the Ile de Saint Louis. This is, of course, a famous shot from Citizen Kane, the rosebud sphere there, which, you know, when I saw the movie again, you know, it looks like a little Swiss chalet. It looked like, you know, Jesus, you know, the Gorson was like, right, this guy for me. I don't think so, but it felt that way. I take the softball, the one that I was saving for the painting, I toss it into the river out of just a response, you know. Now, I'm watching sticks go down and algae go down and fish go down, and the ball sits out in the center of the river for I know not how long, until I notice that it's sitting in the center of the river, and I say, well, that's pretty odd. Ball comes back to the shore, and I say, oh, you are fucking with me. I pick it up. I throw it back in. It sits there. It seems to wink at me. Comes back. I said, come on. We do this for a bit. And I say, okay, I get it. Map of the world. You're a great fucking artist. This is a great trick. But like Bugs Bunny, Dad, you can only do it once. Go. We're all freaking out here. It's time for you to go. And I throw that thing off and the bird cries. And then I look back. And the ball's impossibly gone. I chase it out. You know, I'm not giving up that easy. Come on. I believe in science. I run through the thicket over the Okefenokee swamp area. Surely it's gotten caught in one of these bogs and rails.
And then I realized, like I was shot. Like I was shot with a diamond. Like a diamond bullet straight through my forehead. And I thought, my God, the genius of that. The genius of Daffy Duck.
An act that no other performer has ever dared to execute. In fairness, I must warn those with weak constitutions to leave the theater for this performance. Lights. Thank you. Some appropriate music, maestro. Thank you. First, I drink a generous portion of gasoline. Then, some nitroglycerine. A goodly amount of gunpowder. Some uranium-238. Shake well. Strike an ordinary match. Girls, you'd better hold on to your boyfriends. Swallow the match. So. That's terrific, Daisy. They loved it. They want more. I know, but I can only do it once.
Thank you, and good night. Thank you. Thank you very much.